Excuse the noise. Life. Bring your hands to Namaskarasan. Let the eyes go back. Let the face go back. Allow the heart to lift and the brain to descend. Breathe. The heart to the head. Quietly bow the head down to the heart. Release the hands to the thighs. Raise the face. Open the eyes. Adho Mukha Virasana. Big toes together, knees apart. Have yourself so that your hands are near the wall. So we're going Adho Mukha Virasana, and then we're coming into our Adho Mukha Svanasana. So you want the bottom down, you want the body descending down, you want the arms to feel long. Stretch those arms forwards. Relax the face, release the tongue. Roll the shoulders away from the ears so you give your neck a little bit of space. Feel the width of the body. The release of the thighs. Obviously pad yourself underneath the knees if they're uncomfortable. Put a foam pad underneath your bottom if it doesn't reach your heels. So the whole time you're looking for your optimum pose. So support where necessary. That's the same with all the poses. And opt out where necessary. You don't have to do everything. Isn't that nice, knowing you don't have to do everything? You could just end up staying here now for the next 20 minutes. Some days that's what I like. And some days I want to come into dog head down. Adho Mukha Svanasana, dog head down. Spread the fingers, tuck the toes under, lift the hips. Now take the thighs right up into the pelvis, and then start to take the legs back. Take the top of the thighs back. Work the legs. Relax the eyes, release the tongue. Check the knees are facing, the square of the knees are facing directly forwards. Release across the shoulders. Lengthen the spine as much as possible. Legs long. Press down into the hands. Walk forwards, Uttanasan. Come onto the fingertips. Lengthen through the front of the body. So we're doing half Uttanasan, Ardha Uttanasan here. Lift the chest forwards. Get the hips to be over the ankles. My head's coming quite close to the wall, but I think I'll be okay. Arches lifted. You can check that your toes are spread here. And then stand into those heels. And lift those thighs up and up and up and up. Chest forwards. And then press down into the hands. Spread out through the fingers. Step back into your Adho Mukha Svanasana. Dog head down. Good step back. As you step back, make the most of the length of that leg. And then change to the other leg. Make the most of that length of that leg. So really feel like you're standing in each leg individually and then power through the legs together. Open up the backs of the knees. Nice long legs. And start to really enjoy that sense of space that begins to be created in the backs of the thighs. Sometimes we have to learn to like those sensations. Backs of the knees, make them wide. Backs of thighs, make them wide. Lift those buttock bones up. Take the tailbone towards the heel, so you're pulling them in that direction. Now you're going to walk in again. This time you have a choice. Half Uttanasan, that pose that we did last time, or handstands, which is why I wanted your hands against the wall, or near the wall. So walk in. And if you want to keep walking into your Ardha Uttanasan, that's back to here. Let the neck be long. Yeah, you can check out your legs. See if they need shaving or not. Otherwise, you got your dog head down, walk in, and then kick up. I have guttering to rest my feet against. Hopefully you've just got a normal wall. Stretch up and scrub those heels up the wall. Lengthen those heels up the wall. Roll those shoulders away from the ears and then just let the head hang. Ribs back, tailbone up towards the ceiling or the sky. And exhale, come down. Step back, dog head down. Arms long. Legs long. Spine long. Arms firm. Legs firm. Abdomen soft. There you go. Face soft. Definitely not a long face and definitely not a hard abdomen. Definitely soft face, soft abdomen. Let your eyes feel wide. Walk in, kick up with the other leg. And then scrub those heels up the wall. Scrub those heels up the wall. Ribs in, tailbone up. Roll those thighs towards each other a little so the knees are facing directly forwards. Extend up into the toes, sides of the feet. Lengthen, be tall. And then exhale, come down with the opposite leg. Step back, dog head down. Adho Mukha Virasana. Bend the knees, big toes together, lengthen the bottom back, rest. Take the hands back, inhale, come up, sit tall. See how you feel. Okay, so now we've got elbow balance, all right? Now, I've been a bit naughty and I have no props for my elbow balance. That's not naughty. I've been practicing without props. You can use a brick between your hands. You can put a belt so that your elbows don't slip out wider than your shoulders. So you need to make sure it's a locking belt. Okay, and you can walk in. Now, If you're not doing it, you can stay with your dog head down with the elbow balance arms. And you think of your hands, so you've got a middle line from your middle finger down to the back of your wrist. But you also want to think about that middle finger running all the way down to your elbow. So you can if you put your hands like that down, and then, so have your fingers quite close to the wall, and then turn those hands down. You want to keep this inner wrist down. So here I'd have the brick, and it's a guide to just stop my hands from spinning in. Don't grip the brick. Belt is on your elbows, and then you can come into your lifting the hips like a modified dog head down here. And you can just practice this because this brings strength to the arms. Getting those shoulders over the elbows, lifting up those hips. Those of you wishing to kick up, press down into the hands and kick up. Stretch those legs up the wall. You can look towards the floor, or you can look with the head released just between your arms. That's good for releasing through the neck. It feels lovely. Stretch the tailbone up towards the heels. Grip the legs together and lift those heels up the wall. And then exhale, come down. Take a rest, bend the knees, stretch back. And then again, one more time. Opposite leg. Walk in. Kick up. Stretch up. Breathe again. It's always handy to breathe. Legs together. And scrub those heels up the wall. Draw the ribs in and press down into the forearms. Keep the pad between the thumb and the index finger, pressing down strongly. Relax the eyes and release the tongue. Lengthen that spine. And exhale, come down. Take a rest. Now we're going to do headstand Shirshasana. So you open up a blanket, or you can fold back a mat. You're going to interlace the fingers. You want to make sure that this thumb side of the wrist stays directly over the little finger side of the wrist. It presses straight down. Okay, so if you bring your awareness to the center of the forearm and picture that being pinned, that's a really good place to get the evenness in the arm work. And then, because the floor is solid, you've got nothing to push, the arm into. When you press the arm strongly down from there, instead of the arm going through, what happens is it reaches the floor, it can't move. So then you move the shoulder back. So it's that action there, okay? So, and it's really important that you keep that because that keeps the back of the neck long. So placing the hands down. In Lighton Yoga, he has his knees very close to his elbows. And you want to make sure that the elbows, again, are in line with your shoulders. Okay, so you place them down. Move my hair out of the way. Place them down. And then make your arms, I like to think of them almost like they're curved. And so I curl the arms down, interlace the fingers, and then I'm ready to go up. So I'm used to doing it away from the wall, but I'm close to the wall today, just so that you can understand that with the feet against the wall, that's a lot of traffic. You suddenly realise how close I am to the road. Just wait a moment. So with the feet against the wall, you can open the chest a little better and you don't need to worry about your balance. At some time, you'll be able to come away from the wall. But here we're kind of intermediate wall. If you need the wall, go right in against it. Okay, pop the crown of the head down, that's the very top of the head, so the back of the neck is long. And then just try that action with the shoulders, moving the shoulders away from the ears until you feel like you've pressed those elbows down, and then press the wrists down as well. So as the shoulders come back, you'll feel the weight move towards the elbows. Yeah, now you mustn't lose that weight. It's like it's being pinned into that place there. Very important to keep the neck long. So let's see. Raise the head down, move the shoulders away from the hands, feel how the pressure's gone more into the elbows, but then don't lose the wrists. So press the wrists down and then keep your awareness in that center of the arm. Walk in one leg at a time, just take one up, take the other one up, keeping the lift of the chest and the grip of the legs, and hold. So if you need the wall for support, you've got that wall back behind you. If you need to come down, you come down. So here, when you're learning to balance, when you're beginning to understand the balance, everything's very wobbly to begin with, and you have to spend the time getting to know how not to wobble. So having the wall there means that you can pop your foot back and stretch your leg up and make it feel strong, and then maybe change legs if required. You can check that your shoulders are still lifting away from the ears, that the sides of the thighs feel like they're holding the pose, along with the inner legs because they're gripping together, and then you're taking that energy from the inner legs right up into the toes. Keep that action. And it's a nice symmetrical pose here. The only asymmetrical bit really is how the fingers are interlaced. But you can change that interlace another time. It does feel very different. Lift up through those legs. Breathe. Kneecaps tight. Backs of the knees long. Shoulders lifting away from the ears. Now you've got that wall behind you, so if you need to just take a rest, you can always pop your feet back there, or you can come down. So listen carefully. Your feet are facing directly forwards. Okay, your feet are together. You're going to stretch your left leg up, and keeping that kneecap facing in that exact same direction that it's facing in now, keep both hips lifted. Lower your right leg down, keeping the left leg stretching up. Keep both legs, kneecaps tight, stretch through to the toes, legs strong, hips level. And then raise that right leg up. Stretch up. Keeping the right leg stretching up, lower the left leg down, keeping the knee facing that same direction. So it's not rolling out, it's not rolling in. Stretching that right leg up as the left leg comes down. Shoulders lifted away from the ears. Inhale, come up. Stretch up. If you have the stamina, do it again. Stretch up through the legs. Lower the right leg down. Keep the legs strong. Open up the backs of the knees. Inhale, come up. Shoulders lifted. Stretch up through the legs. Lower the left leg down. Keeping the hips level, hips square. Shoulders away from the ears, weight in the elbows. Neck feels long. Tight kneecaps. Inhale, come up. Stretch up. Grip the legs together. And exhale, come down slowly with bent legs, one leg at a time or both legs together, whichever feels most comfortable for you. And rest. Adho Mukha Virasana, but with the head now supported on the hands, and roll the shoulders away from your ears so that your neck feels lovely and long and released. Inhale, sit up. Sit tall, spine long. And you can put your blanket away, put it to one side. Okay. Stand up straight. Legs together, feet together, stretch the arms down, lift the chest. Let's just stretch the arms up and over the head. Breathe. Getting both sides of the body to release upwards. And then lower the arms down. Now take the arms out to the side and up. Stretch up. Weight back into the heels. Arms long, legs strong. Tailbone down a little. And then lower the arms down. Stretch the arms down, lift up the chest. Take the legs wide. We're going to do Prasarita Padottanasana. I'm just going to step the legs apart. Okay, you can put some height there for your head, but it's not necessary if your head reaches the floor. Put your hands to your hips and lift the chest. Look up. You're going to exhale and fold forwards and place the hands down. When the hands go down, lengthen the sides of the waist. Move the chest forwards, but press those thighs back. You've got a bit of a push-me-pull-you going on with the arms and the legs. The thighs are going back, the arms are coming forwards, but the hips are in line with the ankles. Make the legs firm. Then exhale, walk the hands back in line with the feet and place the head to the floor. Shoulders come away from the ears. Kneecaps are tight. Arches are lifted. Legs are firm. Keep the shoulders moving away from the ears. Keep the sides of the neck nice and long. Relax the face. Relax the eyes. Release the tongue. Inhale, look forwards, lengthen forwards. Now at this point you can heel and toe the feet in towards each other, or you can keep the legs where they are. And what is important, if you keep the legs where they are, is that you make sure that they are strong and that you're pressing into the outer blades of the feet, and it feels like the energy is drawing from the ankles up to the hips, okay? And then from here, you place your hands onto your waist, take the tailbone down, inhale, stand up. That mat always sticks to that foot. Stretch the arms out and then jump the legs together, stand tall. Prasarita Padottanasana, just one more time. Legs wide. Open up the chest, stretch the arms out. Hands to waist, lift up, look up. Fold forwards, keeping that wonderful length you've just created on the front of the body. Now this time, see how far back you can place the hands, keeping the arms straight. So we're aiming for in line with the feet. Then push through the hands to widen the shoulders, widen the collarbones, and move the spine in towards the body. Press down into the heels. Kneecaps nice and tight, legs firm. Exhale, fold. Trying to bring the head in line with the feet, between the hands. Shoulders away from the ears. Breathe. Inhale, look forwards. Exhale. Hands to waist, legs firm. Inhale, come up. Just get my sticky feet off the mat again. Stretch the arms out, legs together. It's much harder when the legs are that wide to jump them together. It's quite a skill. Stretch the arms down, lift up the chest. Relax the eyes and release the tongue. Tree pose, Vrikshasana. So pick up the right leg, bring the foot to the top of the thigh and take the bent knee back. This instantly gives us a state of balance. Raise the arms forwards and up. Lift the chest. Exhale, lower the arms down. And release the leg. Second side. So stand, grip the legs. Pick up the left leg. Knee back, toes down. Open the chest. Raise the arms up. Stretch up. Lower the arms down. And release the leg. Okay? Uttanasan Padangusthasana 2. Now, we're going to do it holding the toe. If you can't straighten the leg, don't keep the leg half bent. So we're going to pause. So you're going to pick up the leg and you're going to see if you can hold the big toe. Now, if you can't hold the big toe, you go straight back to your tree pose. So no leaning forwards. We're keeping the chest nice and upright here. If you can, and you hold the toe and you lift the chest here, and you can still keep the chest upright. With an exhale, you will take your leg out to the side, okay? Like this. Stretching the other arm out to balance the action. Not like this, okay? Only like this. And then exhale, release. Put the leg down. Okay, let's try the other side. So pick up the left leg. Take hold of the big toe. Stretch the heel away. Put your hand on your waist so I know you're doing business. It's like Wonder Woman. Okay? From here, with an exhale, take the leg out to the side, take the arm out to the side. Open the chest. No half bent legs, please. And then exhale. Release. Okay? Do tree pose if you can't do it. It's no problem. We can do some leg stretching in a minute just so that you can work towards it. First side again. Stand tall. Pick up your right leg. Take hold of the big toe and stretch that heel away. So this action here is going to help your dog head down. Who'd have thought it? With an exhalation, arm out to the side, leg out to the side, like you're hugging the world, or about to. Breathe, legs strong. Exhale, release. You can always use the wall to balance. Stretch the arms down, open up the chest. pick up the left leg. So you're trying to bring, watch, you're trying to bring the leg to you rather than going down to meet the leg. Stretch into the heel, and then exhale, take the leg out to the side, drop the shoulders, open the chest, legs firm, and then exhale, release, stand tall. That's done. So, for those of you who didn't get that action, should we do Supta Padangusthasana 2, lying down? Then you don't need to worry about your balance, and you can use a belt. So here we are. This is very nice. So we'll start by taking the left leg up. Just pull the knee in towards the chest. Make sure that that feels very comfortable. And then release. And then the right leg up. Pulling the knee in towards the chest. And then release. Now to do, say you can't even get tree pose because that's been a bit of a problem. Grab a blanket and put it by your straight leg. Like that. So now we've got one leg off the floor, one leg on the floor. Take your belt, put it around the foot. Hold the belt. You've got to teach this heel to extend. Yeah, that's a key to your tree pose. It's a key to the dog pose. You can hold that belt and you can pretend, so if you can put that foot against the wall or just pretend you've got a wall there, make that foot nice and lively, and then without wobbling you can get your body to start to learn this tree pose action. So the muscle memory starts to happen, but because you're not trying to stand up, there's no shrinking. So you're not worried about the balance so much. And then with an exhalation, you can then bend the leg up and move the blanket up to here. You can roll it once. Yeah, I'll spin it round even. That would make sense. And then you can take the leg out to the side, holding the belt. Using this hand to keep this thigh down. So it's reminding you to work the leg. And then again, look, you can hold the belt here, or those of you that can hold the toe, just hold the toe. Okay? And then release the leg, stretching into the heel to bring it back, because we're trying to teach it that heel action. Remove the belt and stretch the leg away. Now, I've got this bench in the way, so I'm going to spin around. You don't have to. So we'll put the blanket again here for our tree pose first of all. Belt around the foot. Draw the leg up. Keep this leg nice and strong. Foot like you're standing on the wall. Heel extend. Hold the foot, pressing the heel into the top of the thigh. Ah, what a lovely tree pose. Because we have to teach this top of the thigh, from the top of the thigh down to the knee, to move that way, rather than pulling it up this way. If you pull the knee towards you, you'll notice how the foot loses contact. If you press the knee away with that hand, you'll notice how the foot makes contact. And it's just these little actions that we don't think about when we're doing the tree pose, especially those of us who find it comes easily. So how do you do it? Well, I don't know, the foot just stays there. You know, you've either got sticky tape, double-sided. I don't recommend carpet tape, that would be terrible. I'm joking, don't use sticky tape either. It is just this action of the foot coming to the thigh and the thigh resisting the foot. But it has to be that the knee is moving that way. Then you can work on the action of the tailbone going down and the opening of the thigh more. Then you can bend the leg up, pull that blanket away, fold it over to support the hip, like so. Hold the belt or hold your big toe. Left hand down on the thigh. Exhale, take the right leg out to the side. Extend into the heel. Legs firm. You can turn the thigh from inside out. Check that the knee is facing up towards the shoulder. And this action here will be helping your Uttanasan and a myriad of other poses. So no pose is ever done in isolation. Although in lockdown we're a bit more in isolation, but it's easing. I apologise for the terrible joke. Chest open, legs firm. And then just quietly release the leg back, stretching into the heel. You can reaffirm your tree pose. And then release the belt. And take the legs away. Oh, and that should feel very nice. You can do that more if you wish. I'm going to bend up the legs though. Roll onto my side and sit myself up for Uttanasan. So I'm sitting up on a height and I've got this bench behind me. Yeah, so you can always make use of the things you've got around. So the soles of the feet, they come in. Like so. I'm going to use the bench here just to sit tall. You can put your fingertips either side of the hips. Open up the chest. You want the knees. So again, you can see how this pose relates to other poses. We've got a good turning out of the thigh, an openness through the groins, and a connection through the soles of the feet. Yeah, so sometimes for me, it's very comfortable to turn the soles of the feet up. However, I find it slightly less comfortable to bring the big toes together and the mounds of the big toes to touch. So that's an action that I need to work on. It gives me terrible cramp. It started. So you want the feet coming together. To release that cramp, I'm just going to hold underneath the feet and then I open up my chest. There we go. And you just wait for it to pass. Just keep smiling. Knees go down, chest is open. If you find that your body, so I find that sitting on the floor and doing it this way is quite nice. But with the height underneath my bottom, I don't feel like my arms are quite long enough because I've got long arms and a long body. So I'll take a belt, slide it underneath the feet, okay? And then from here, I'll hold the belt strongly and open up the chest. So this can be quite a good action for the arms. Take the elbows in and turn the biceps from inside out. Turning the biceps from inside out, the shoulder blades go deep into the back, collarbones open, chest becomes a little broader, and you can then quite strongly hold yourself upright. So you move the spine in. If your back gets tired, you release your hands and you put them either side of your hips. And we'll just take a few breaths here. Drawing the energy. If you picture where your buttock bones are, picture you're pulling up the inner edge of those buttock bones. Lift up the energy on the inner edge of those buttock bones. I hope that makes sense. Letting the knees go down. Chest broad and open, but try not to push into the lumbar spine. So the lower back feels long as well. You're lifting out of the lower back. And then exhale, release. Uttanasan. We're just taking the legs apart. So take the legs, bring them forwards, make sure the knees feel like they belong to you. And then take the legs out to the side. I like to move, so put my heels on the front edge of my mat. So I've got some idea of placement, and then I hotch myself forwards. Now you might need to sit up on a foam pad. If that's the case, then take a foam pad or a blanket and sit on it. If you're sitting on a blanket, I like to sit on the corner. Now, if you sit on a blanket, I don't know whether you can see this, but this is double fold, and this is one fold here. Now, to the sensitive buttocks, those of you who start, you'll notice if you sit like this portion and this portion, if you use your fingers and press on the double fold here and the single fold here, that actually gives a different height because of the depth of the two folds there, all right? So instead of doing it that way, open the blanket up and then fold like an aeroplane instead, all right? And then if you turn it over, when your buttock bones sit, at least you've got some hope that they're going to be level, okay? So then that point comes, I'll just bring my legs together. That point comes here. And then you also have the choice of having the buttock bones supported or just the tailbone. Am I allowed to get that excited about blanket folding? Never, my mum would just be amazed. Yeah? So here, she was a hospital corners lady back in the days when we had fitted sheets. So here I'm sitting on the front edge, not on the front edge, just with this point out, and my buttock bones are down. And that gives one action. Yeah, now I can use my fingertips and lift the chest. And again, don't just push that lumbar spine forward. So we have to know that if something is overworking, something is underworking. All right, so we have to think, is there an evenness to the body, to the front and to the back of the body? Is there an evenness to the legs? Is there length and strength? Do I feel supported by this pose? And breathe and just enjoy this sensation. It's such a gift. Now those of you whose hamstrings allow, you know that you're comfortable here because you're not struggling to stay upright. Your sacrum feels like it's coming up. It's not, you're not leaning back. There should be no heaviness in the lower portion of the abdomen. And as you go forwards, you can then slide off till the buttock bones come off, and then the tailbone is supported. Now that gives you a deeper stretch in the groins. And now your legs can completely connect to the floor. So you can allow the legs to go down. Allow the shins to go down. You have to just let them be down. So there's a gravity to the pose. And then with the legs going down, you get the opportunity to lift the spine up. You get that placement. So it's a really lovely extension. And I can only describe it like, you know, when you're making, is it taffy? It's kind of pulling, yeah? And breathe. Shoulder blades. Uttanasan. Quite possibly my pose of the day. Relax the shoulders, relax the eyes, release the tongue. And here the focus is on the maintenance of the lift of the spine, the width of the breath and the work of the legs. And it's poses like this where I'm just like, oh my goodness, thank you for this thing called yoga. It just gives me the opportunity to reflect and to feel the work that's going on inside without being active on the outside. So they say still waters run deep, and here you can feel the energy required to maintain the posture like this. Use your arms if your body internally isn't holding you. If you get tired, you release. Otherwise, just enjoy what is towards meditation in action, or meditation in inaction. the backs of the knees, lean back, bring the legs together, and then just stretch them forwards. I've still got the point because I'm actually quite enjoying sitting on the tailbone being supported there. Okay, roll the thighs in and sit in Dandasan. And that action of the wide legs should help the Dandasan feel even better. Use the fingertips, roll the shoulder blades deep into the back, extend through the inner edges of the feet. Breathe. Okay, now all we have to do here is take our Dandasan, which is this way, and we're going to flip it up so that we're doing Urdhva Prasarita Padasana. Okay, so it's literally this shape here, but that way. So our legs are in the air. Now you have the opportunity to take your legs in against the wall. You can hold a belt for the heels, or you can just do it regular-wise. If you need some support underneath your sacrum, take a blanket if you need that extra bit of softness and put it underneath there. You can have the arms over the head if space allows. So I shall show you here. I'm going to hold the mat, roll the shoulder blades deep into the back, bend up the legs, pull the knees in towards the chest, and then just keep the spine long. So if you push the arms away, you'll feel the length of the spine. Get that same extension into those heels. So you're really feeling that you've got those heels working and that the arches are drawing back up towards the knees, and then take the heels up. Oh. I have a friend who describes, when you describe a lovely meal, she goes, yumma. But when these legs go up, that's like, oh, yumma. Okay, so if you're going to take the arms over the head, I'm going to have to demonstrate this in a short space. Not a short space of time, but literally a short space. I've got very long arms. Okay, I'm going to lengthen my spine, and you're going to just bend the knees over the chest, stretch into those heels. As you take those legs up, stretch into the fingertips. Urdhva Prasarita Padasana. Even the name rolls off your tongue. Tight kneecaps, you can see your kneecaps. Legs extended. And if you clock here, it's not an abdominal pose so much as the thighs just working down into the hips. So you've got the square. Think of the thigh being a square, and you're taking the whole of the square of the thigh right down. And as you do that, so the outer hips come down as well. The inner groins, they go right down into the hips as well. And if you're finding it hard to hold and the legs become shaky, just stop like that. Okay? And then you can just take another go at it. Stretch up through those legs. And you might find that they'll fatigue more quickly, or maybe they've just re-energized themselves. And then exhale. Release the leg and pop the feet with the leg. That's because I was thinking of two legs as one leg. The legs. And lie down. Now we're heading towards Halasan, but I enjoy Supta Padangusthasana 1 beforehand. It's a personal thing. So I'm just going to take one leg, left leg first, because in light on yoga that's what's written. And I keep trying to shake it up a little, not always do the right leg first. And then unfurl the leg and just allow that leg to lengthen. And I'm just going to stretch my arm up and measure where my leg has come to comfortably. Okay? Now in our Halasan, the tip of the toe holds the pose. So if your flexibility allows, I'm not saying that it will, but if your flexibility allows and you can keep that leg straight, hold the belt with one hand, take the other hand up and just touch the toe. I've got long arms as well, so the shoulders are back. Touch that toe and then press the toe into your fingers, and if you've got the action correct, you'll feel the thigh going deeper into the hip. It's like it's trying to take the hip away from your shoulder. And then exhale, release. Change legs. So I've left the belt on my foot. I've tucked my right foot into the belt and taken my left leg out. My left leg is now supercharged. Okay, don't lose that supercharge of that leg. It feels long, it feels strong. Don't lose it. Draw the left leg up, and hopefully it's going to come to a similar place. As long as the legs are equally healthy, there's no injury in the leg there. Don't force it. If you've got an injury in your legs, please don't force. You know, that's a given. Okay, so I'm holding the belt and I'm just giving this leg a bit of a stretch, because this is my other leg. This is because I'm mirroring you, this is actually my left leg. But for the case of filming, this is my right leg. Okay, it gets very confusing when you're lying around. And I'm doing the standing poses, it's very easy, I mirror. But when we're lying around, so for you, you've got your right leg in the air. Okay? Hold the belt with one hand, take the other hand up, and if you can reach the toe, touch the toe, a big toe right on the tip, and then know that it's that tip that you're going to press towards the finger, and press the finger onto the tip, and then really work that leg against it and feel how the hip is moving away. And notice very subtly how that tailbone starts to wag back towards that lower leg. Whew, that's strong work in the thigh. Keep the leg strong. Allow the crease of the hip to move deep in. Feel how your waist has just become longer. And then exhale, release the leg down. Now they feel like new legs. I'll have those legs, thank you very much. Bend up the legs, roll onto your sides, and sit up. We've got Halasana next. Halasana is the plough. I've got 3 blankets here. It's not a huge amount of blankets, but for me it's enough for today. Now it's important, again, in the world of blanket folding, that you have as neat an edge as possible for where the neck goes. So I'm going to have I'm going to come this way actually because of the nature of the ground here. So I've got the one fold, this end, and my head is going to come here. So I need to give myself enough space to take my legs over my head. And I'm going to do the 3 blankets. 1, 2, notice how I'm making it nice and flat. You don't want any ruffling underneath. Imagine if you had clothing that was all rucked up. If you're anything like me, it would probably bother you a little at least. So my shoulders are coming onto here. I'm going to use the wall to walk up because it's there. Yeah? I've got a belt for my elbows, but you can use it if you wish. And if that's the case, I was about to say I'm not going to use it because I'm going to stretch my arms straight over. But it is a good place to just practice your Halasana as well. So I've got the belt ready, okay? And I'm going to put it onto one arm, but that's all currently. Lie down and get your shoulders onto the blankets. All right? And in fact, we've put the belt to one side, but just know you can grab it. Just leave it there. So we don't need to worry about that. You won't get tangled up with your black belt now. Now you're going to put the feet towards the wall, or you're going to get ready to go over into your Halasana. Now you have to think sort of like a backward roll. You actually press your elbows into the floor, and then you lift the bottom, support the bum, and then pop the feet over the head. Halasana. Now remember the tips of the toes, and you're just going to stretch your arms towards your feet. So it's almost like you're doing a pike dive. And Una would say, or she said once, and now I use it all the time, channel your inner Tom Daly. So lift the groins up and picture Tom Daly doing a beautiful pike dive. Tom Daly's a diver, in case you don't know. Or any other diver. Those guys in Greece, when they dive, do the big diving off the cliffs and things. Long arms and long legs. Italy, whatever lovely, beautiful country you fancy being in. Cornwall, England. Ours are silly. Sorry, I'll be quiet. Work the legs. You must work the legs or the lower back takes the load. So you want to feel that those big toes are pressing down and the energy is being drawn up the thighs, right up into the hips, right up into those hips. stretching the arms towards the feet, making sure the neck feels comfortable. If it doesn't come down, readjust or find a teacher to show you how to do it properly. Nothing's worth hurting yourself for. Breathe, face soft, toes connected. Now bring the hands behind the back. Interlace the fingers and stretch the arms away. And you'll feel you'll be able to come onto the shoulders more. Change the interlace. Stretch the arms away again. Notice when you're thinking of the arms, you lose that connection with the tip of the toes. Don't. Get the tips of the toes connected. Now feel how long you can make yourself. From the toes, through the hips, through the spine, through the arms, right through to the fingers, via the shoulders. Move the shoulder blades deep into the back. Change the interlace. Stretch the arms away again. Connect from one end of the pose to the other. We're not going to bother with the belt. Just bend the elbows, support the back. Lift the legs. So both toes stay connected. Just lift up through those thighs, right up into the hips again. Release the hands to the floor or support the back with the hands. Quietly roll down. Trying to maintain the head to the floor. Do not turn your head. You're going to rest here. So ideally, you slide your bottom away until your head comes onto the platform. Yeah, you can then, if you haven't, I didn't put a brick underneath my bottom. If you had a brick underneath your bottom, lift the brick up and put it underneath your head. So if I wriggle this way, I'll have to do swastikasana on the wall instead. Yeah? And then the head rests here. Okay? Alternatively, you can slide the bottom. Well, it's done less and less now. There was a time where it was done lots. And let your bottom just relax onto the floor here. And cross the legs again. Open the collarbones. And take some breaths this way. And it's very much depending on the day, depending on how you're feeling. And the thing is, change across of the legs. This thing called yoga, we've sometimes it's turned to as a remedy. People haven't done yoga before. And as I've become a little bit older, it's actually dawned on me how important it is that you get the foundation in before things happen, so that you have some kind of basis to work from. You know the poses, you're not working new and trying to heal yourself. You get to know your body, and then hopefully you can so Patanjali talks about avoiding the pains or the sorrows yet to come. And so maybe we'll bypass some of those things that may have happened if we hadn't taken on board a yoga practice. There you go, that's the heavy bit. It's not really heavy, it's flipping delightful. I wish they taught this in schools all the time. Learn to love your body. Learn to love your life. The yoga practice, and accept your life. Anyway, enough of that waffle. Open up the chest, breathe, bring yourself back into the moment, and then draw the legs together once you've done both sides. Roll onto your side. And we've got Viparita Karani, legs up the wall. So you're going to have a little bit of a height. And you need a little bit of placement so your bottom can drop down. How do you get in there? As elegantly as you possibly can. So if I use bricks, a bolster, it gives you much more room to make a bit of a mistake. So on the blankets, I'm going to have to be much more careful, much cleverer. So my bottom is actually off. I'm going to lie down on my side, roll onto my back, and then walk myself up and on. Viparita Karani. You don't need this much height. You can be much lower than this. And the depth also matters. So if it's too deep from the back edge to the front edge, then you'll find that your shoulders won't reach the floor, and the shoulders must reach the floor. So we've got this shoulder stand opening across the front of the chest, across the collarbones, and then the arms come down to the side, biceps rolling from inside out. So it's still, although it looks like we're lying around, it is an active pose. And then you're taking the inner leg groins right down there. Relax the throat, relax the eyes, and release the tongue. We'll hold this for a few minutes, pressing the legs back towards the wall, trying to make an evenness of pressure between the left and the right leg, the left and the right buttock bone, an even extension through the spine, and an even breath through the lungs, with even pressure on the shoulders. The centre of the back of the head is on the floor. The eyes are releasing back towards the skull, and the tongue is released. Maintain the kneecaps. But then once you've got to the state where you put all that work in, just stop and just observe as your neck softens. And the shoulders releasing, so it should feel like water is falling over the tops of the shoulders down towards the floor. Is the breath unhampered? Are the palms soft? Are both buttock bones still even? A few more breaths. You can stay here again as long as you need to. And then rest the hands on the belly. If you've got long hair, move it out the way. Bend up the legs. Carefully slide yourself off the props. Cross the legs on the props. Relax the abdomen. If that's uncomfortable, let the feet go either side with the knees together. Change the cross of the legs if that's where you're at. And one cross always feels entirely different from the other. And then quietly use your hands, draw the legs together. Roll onto your side. Shavasana. I'm going to use a blanket for my head, and because it's quite bright, I'm going to put a belt over my eyes. Okay, so we've just done all these poses. So now we'll take a little time to lie down. When you lie down, picture yourself lengthening vertebrae by vertebrae, lengthening that spine, getting as much of the lower back, as much of the back body on the floor as possible. And then stretch the legs out in completely the same line of your body. If you need to support the legs, put something underneath the backs of the knees. Tuck the shoulder blades deep into the back. Give yourself enough space that it feels like the breath can enter the upper chest. And then, if you want to step the legs away to give your abdomen more freedom, just step the legs away and just see how that feels. Take your belt, place it over the eyes or some kind of fabric, just to quieten the eyes, encourage them to go back. As you exhale, allow the eyes to release down towards the softness of the cheeks. Allow the cheeks to release down, so the cheeks release and soften the lower jaw. Let the head rest back, just being aware that the blanket does reach the shoulders. Take a few moments here to breathe and let go completely. Breath smooth and even. Adjust yourself where appropriate so that you can completely let go. Be supported by the floor. Rest your hands on your belly. You'll notice after a few moments a deeper breath will follow. Rolling those thighs in one at a time, bend up the legs and roll over onto your right side and rest there. Don't disturb the brain. Feel the quiet release of the breath, the body to the floor. Bring yourself up, so press down with your left hand, look at the floor, come up to a comfortable seated position. Simple cross legs. Take 3 deeper inhalations, enjoy the newly felt body, that new sensation. Hatha Yoga Anushasan. Right now is the auspicious journey of yoga. Right now is the right time to be in a state of yoga. Bow the head to the heart, lift the heart to the head. I'm bringing my hands to Namaskarasan just to be truly grateful. Release the hands back to the thighs, raise the head up and open the eyes. you